Hello, everybody. So I just wanted to. We do have an opportunity to, go to the different agencies, law enforcement agencies, and so forth, and start having a discussion with them. Recently, in the last, about the last month or so, I've been working with Jojo, a Fobly, and a Fobble, and he works for the sheriff's office, and the Los Angeles sheriff's office. They recently started a community advisory council, and they have several different councils that they're kind of putting together. The council that we are going to be sitting on is the Filipino American Specific Council, and they're kind of broken up by different cultures to have a seat at the table, so to speak. A lot of times when we talk about law enforcement and the problems with law enforcement, sometimes we're just talking about a black or white issue, and it's really not a black or white issue. It's really criminal and and law and order issues. It shouldn't really be about race, but for some reason we are talking about race. That's why the sheriff um, has put together an advisory council. I am trying to be an associate member of the council and be the liaison between the sheriff and the Filipino community. So if you are part of the Filipino community, please start interacting with us, Jojo, Peter Ramirez, Noel Omega, Mark Baggio, um, and we're trying to get other community leaders like Rachel Wiggins and so forth. But I want to kind of talk about one of the meetings that we had last night. Last night, the sheriff put together a little mini workshop on how to file a complaint and the process of what happens during a complaint. Basically, when you file a complaint, like if you see, an officer being rude to you, and you're more than welcome to file a complaint, and they will address it and investigate it. So basically, what you do is you go online or you ask for a report sheet, and you sign the report sheet, and within 3 days after complaining, you'll get notified that the watch commander has seen your complaint and will do something about it. And within 30 days of filing your complaint, you'll get a resolution or or a further investigation from that. So, the sheriff, at least on the sheriff's side, they are doing their best to, take every complaint seriously. So, so if you see something out there that you don't like, let's just file a complaint. The sheriff is trying to be as transparent as possible. Um, so that kind of leads me to what I really want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the politicizing of law enforcement. Um, so one of the things that we have to understand is how different agencies differ from one another. And let's just talk about how the police departments are being managed, and how the sheriff is being managed. As we all know, the sheriff is elected by a vote. So every few years or so, we as a community vote for a sheriff. In LA, it's currently Sheriff Villanueva, and you know, and with the cities, on the police departments, on the city police departments, they they are led by the police chief. The police chief is led by or reports to the mayor. So let's think about this. The sheriff gets elected, and he reports to the people. the police chief is identified and led by the mayor's office. So here's the implication, and here's why that's so important to think about. When there is civil unrest, it's the mayor's job to talk to the police chiefs, and the police chief has the power to tell the officers to do their job and enforce the various laws that are being broken. And however, we're seeing a lot of civil unrest in the community, and a lot of that civil unrest is being done by agencies that are led by Democrat mayors and liberal mayors. For instance, over the summer, Los Angeles had some civil unrest. The sheriff, they recognize that they adhere to the people. So even though the city of Los Angeles is not under direct enforcement by the LA sheriff, the LA sheriff has the attitude that if your property is being destroyed, if your rights are being violated, the sheriff will protect you as a people. So the sheriff has gone into the LAPD districts and basically held the peace, because if you look at cities like Los Angeles, the mayor handcuffed the police per se, and for political reasons, and we kind of see the political reasons, to keep going with the civil disobedience. And whereas on a federal level, you're even seeing that with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They are kind of promoting civil unrest. And as a former AG, Kamala Harris, who supposedly was a top cop of California, for her to keep promoting civil unrest and not going into the community and finding what the solutions are, it's kind of disrespectful to the people. So, so let's keep this conversation going, and talk more about what we can do on a community level to help out the community and find solutions to the problems we're having with law enforcement, because not all law enforcement is bad, and not all the citizens are bad. So let's do our best to start having this conversation. So within that, we are going to be forming a community advisory council with with the members of our community, and we're going to be the voice. We're going to sit at the table with the sheriff, and we're going to say, here is what the community thinks needs to be done with at least the sheriff. And because we're going to identify all these issues, we're also going to identify some of the possible solutions to fix these problems within the sheriff's department, and hopefully we can be a positive influence on how things are going to be done. We don't want to be part of the mess that's going on. So in addition, we also want to be the voice for when the sheriff is doing things right, because we want to make sure that we identify both the good and the bad. So if you are part of the Los Angeles community, and definitely if you are part of the Filipino American community in Los Angeles County, we're going to be starting a Facebook group initially, and hopefully we'll start growing with emails and growing our voice to the sheriff. But we're going to need your help. So if you can, please, once we form the Facebook group, please join that group and start the discussion with us. Continue. And do what we can for improving our community. All right, that's about it right now. But we'll definitely see you guys soon.